Hey, welcome. Another EUC Learn Along Part 2. We're going to be setting up Citrix. So we left off on bringing up Active Directory on our domain controller. I went ahead and added two users. So we got our domain admin account here. And then we just added a basic user, domain user here. All right, so we already spun up our server. Again, 20, was it? Server 2022. Basic as it can get. So we statically IP'd this one, which you didn't see. We'll probably show another video. This one we're going to join to the domain. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So we need to get this one set up on our network. Change adapter setting. Yep, it's not seeing our domain, so that's fine. All right, let's go to properties. Showing all these basic steps. Paying, what do we call it, DC? There we go. So we need to point this one to 192. Oops, that unlock. Get you every time. 192.168.233. What's the rest? 129. 129. Okay, close. And then let's go to rename PC. We also need to do IP config all, and we'll skip these steps later on. 130. 192.168.233. 130. All right. 29 is our domain controller. Correct. All right, and let's get this one on the domain. Change EUC learnalong.local. Citrix admin is our domain account. Password. Let's minimize all this and bring this up. There we go. Welcome to EUC learnalong.local. All right, so we need to restart. So now it's going to be joined to our domain. We need to create an OU under here. New organizational unit, we're going to call it servers. That's a good one. And so our computer is in there. Look at that. So in case we want to apply some policies later, we got our own OU for that. This one has come up. Let's log in and get started. Another user, we're going to do Citrix admin, a password. Looky there. Everything's working. All right, another thing I've done is I went ahead and got the ISO on this machine for installing CVAD. Again, we only got 15 minutes. So we got to speed it up somewhere. All right, so let's mount. We're using 2308. I think right now 2311 is the latest, but this one seems to work out pretty good from past experience. We'll do some cool things with this one and UPM and all the other stuff that come with it. All right, so we'll give it a minute. We got our users, I showed you all that. Statically IP'd everything. So all that's been covered. All right, this thing's taking a minute to mount, so we'll just let it do its thing. Check your internet connection. It's unreachable. Don't run. All right, so Smart Screen was blocking it. Let's see if it'll work. I think it's going to block it again. So let's sign out. We won't use our domain account since it's probably causing us some issues. Admin I, can't see him, man. Strator, and our password. All right, so we're learning something. Got some policies that are causing some issues. Smart Screen. So we're going to use this and see how it works out. I don't think this is going to work either. Defender. All right, so we had to hit run. Who knew? All right, so has everything in here. Auto selected. We'll wait for it to come up, and then we're going to install the components on here for Citrix. Doesn't matter which one you choose. I'll select apps. It's all the same thing. So going to get our delivery controller on here. We'll get director and most of these other components on here as well. We'll see what we have time for. Again, we only got 15 minutes. Might have to break this up into an A and B video. There we go. Didn't read it, but I accept. Delivery controller, web studio, director, licensing server. Yeah, we're going to get studio on there too. Web studio, not so great. Yep, that's our delivery controller. Next, features. We're going to install our database on here for Citrix. You can set up another server. Remote assistance. Yep. Firewall. We're going to leave set up like it is. Install. So look at that. We've got a ton of components on here already set up for Citrix. All right, so this is going to take 16 minutes. Ooh, I don't know if we're going to have time for that. 20 minutes. Ooh, definitely don't know. So while that's going and installing, localhost cache, yep. Since we're doing components, so we're going to install the Workspace app on our local machine. Don't come in here. All right, there we go. Accept. Install. Let's see where we're at on that. All right, so we'll have the Workspace app, receiver, whatever you want to call it, installed on our local machine. And these are still going. I'm trying to think what else we're going to put on here. Storefront. Yeah, storefront will go in here, and that should be good. And then we'll set up a machine with the VDA, and then we'll start testing. So finish. We got Citrix on there. This is installing. What else can we do while that's going? How much time do I have? 2 minutes? 3 minutes. So while I got that, we'll go ahead and show you how I've been setting up these machines. So we'll set up one called VDA. Again, we're going to use VMware Workstation Custom. Just leave this as default. We're going to install the OS later. Yep, we're going to use 2022. I'm going to call it VDA. Next, I'm going to set BIOS. That's fine. That's fine. Private network. Yep. Set this to IDE. Use existing virtual disk. And then we'll come back to our lab. Again, we're going to use a VHD from the evaluation center for the server. We're going to copy from our template, paste it in here. This makes things a lot easier than using ISO. We don't have to do a lot of initial steps when setting up a lab. All right, so that's copying. There we go. All right, so we're going to browse. We'll go back to our lab. We're going to set up a VDA machine, all file types, open, next, keep existing format, finish. All right, so now we got a machine ready, or almost ready, so that we can set up our VDA on. Again, just showing you a process. Oh, we got a minute left. So with the VHD, you don't have to set up a lot of initial things you would with an ISO. It'll just kind of boot into the OS. You set a password and you're done. So we'll let this finish. In the next video, we'll do a part B. We'll install storefront on here. Again, all I did is hit next, next, next for the Citrix delivery controller. The only component that we added with a click is Studio. So again, you just let this run. When it wants to reboot, it'll reboot. When it's done installing, you'll reboot. And then you'll have a delivery controller on your hands. But anyway, this has been an EUC Learn Along. Hope you learned something.